welcome back, viewers. We are going to try again with another game of Rimworld. This time I might try and actually describe a little bit more about what's going on, and we might make it a little bit easier just so that we can just paddle along, see the sights. Let's go with a classic beginning. Crash landed. You start with 3 Rimworlders. And yeah, everyone wakes up, has a little vomit, and then gets on with life beginning again. So we start with a few things to make it a little bit easier to get going. It's a pretty basic thing, so we'll just get on with it. Now, as we've seen before, Randy can be a little bit harsh. Phoebe, well, we don't need to go that easy. Let's go with Cassandra. We'll still go adventurous, but for some reason Cassandra will just make it a little bit more, I don't know, we could expect things to take their time before really stabbing us in the back. Oh yeah, hold on, we got to select commitment because, you know, that makes it a story. What sort of siege should we have here? Let's go with CTL. Gives 100% coverage of the globe. Now it might take a little bit of time to generate. I'm still going with a bunch of mods. I like the bees mod, Rim Bees. Gives you the option to breed bees. If anyone's going to start with the game and you don't know where to begin, Embrasures is a good one. Run and Gun I find is a fantastic mod because then you guys actually will shoot on the run instead of just doing nothing and then having to stand still. That can be a pain. Now let's find somewhere to start based on the name. Let's find a cool name. The Free Elephant Mountains. Yeah, oh, here's to freeing the elephants. The Fun Bonlior, maybe not. Orange Hide Gulf, Black Nut Isle, Purple Claw Isle. Maybe what else is there? Honestly, the name generators for these places is just hilarious sometimes. Black Basin, Penguin Lake, Red Mandrill Forest. Jeez, it looks pretty huge, doesn't it? Good sized planet, and once you've actually started a base you can move, so if you don't like where you've started you can pick everybody up, go for a wander and set down roots somewhere else. So it's not like you're stuck with the place you begin if you decide that you don't like it. Ooh, the Count Peaks, count with a K so you know it's serious business. Black Fox Mountains, the Della Cliffs, Conyo Shrubland. Yeah, we're going to start in the Conyo Shrubland. Does anybody know Spanish? Yeah, let's start it. Fantastic. Alright, so these little speckles, these are mountains, mountainous terrain. It'll show up the type of terrain details over here on the left when you click on something. So it says terrain, large hills. You can expect there's going to be, you know, some caves, stuff to dig under. If you want mountainous, which I generally like mountainous, means you can dig a big underground dwelling, but you don't have to have that. You can just build with what you find on land. All these rivers, they mean that you can use water mills to generate power. We also got the road systems. That means it's quicker to travel on these roads. These easy ways of getting around and trading, so you can move further and farther afield. So let's see, we're still in the Conyo Shrublands. That'll be the only person here, this Riron from the Ialunfunla faction. I even pronounced that right, who knows, doesn't matter, make it up as you go along. Yeah, let's see. I like to start in the mountains, as I said before. Oh, here we go. Mountainous and a river. That's good. So, it's good for me anyway. I mean, you can make up your mind. Ah, growing period, year round. Lots of rainfall, so things will grow nicely. Animals can graze. Disease frequency, that becomes a big thing. If you haven't got enough medicine, you can get plague and things like that. But this looks like it's going to give us a fighting chance. This is actually quite a good spot, so get started in the colonial shrubland. Alright. The game starts usually with a selection of characters you can pick from. I've got a mod called Prepare Carefully, so you can actually craft and tailor who it is you take, but let's just have some fun and go with who we've got here. Have a little look. It's a bit limiting when people are incapable of something, because that means that, well, they better be doing something else. In this case, I mean, this is a great cook. I mean, cooking is one of the key parts of the game. You've got to have somebody that can cook food, otherwise everyone dies. Simple fact. Whoa! Incapable of a lot of things. Intellectual crafting and firefighting. Oh, pyromaniac. For an easy game, at least at the start, you might not want somebody that whenever they get upset just sets fire to everything. So we might not take the hard to use M. Elsie, I think we can make it work. Being a psychopath here, it just says that they've got no empathy. They don't mind seeing things that are horrible happening, but they don't get any pleasure from socializing with people. So even though it says that she's very good at socializing, it just means that she's a bit of a sociopath as well as a psychopath. Anyway, we can make that work. Industrious, very good. Alright, so the work that she will do, Elsie will do very, very quickly. So, no health conditions. She's fine. Pablo, the shop kid, let's have a look here. Psychically hypersensitive. Psychic stuff which might knock him right out. But other than that, old gunshot, that means they're going to have a little bit of pain and lack of maneuverability, manipulation. Brawler, we might think about replacing Pablo and M. Here we got Anya. She's got some good medical. Leslie. Doesn't like men. Oh, it's not necessarily a limiting factor. She sleeps really quickly. That's great. Aesthetic. She doesn't mind things being boring. Okay. She's got a mother who might be out there somewhere. Simona. Oh, there's Simona. Simona's in the list down here too. Yeah, alright. So what we'll do, I think, we don't even need to look at the rest of them. Yeah, not very great. We'll take Leslie. We'll take Simona. We've got to pull Pablo down to get Simona to go up there. Okay, good stuff. So Simona. And a knee spike. Now a knee spike, if you want to know what that is, we'll just click on the information. She's got a knee spike installed, thank you. Well, look at that, a spike that extends at will from a hidden opening on the front of the knee. Appearing without warning, can be used for devastating stabbing attacks which penetrate even thick armor. So basically Simona just knows how to give it a bit of that. Fantastic. Great, so she comes equipped with a melee weapon before we even begin, so that's fantastic. Close that. It helps having people with a relationship. You tend to have your Rimworlders taking care of each other and being nice. It's good. Nimble and undergrounder, so when we dig underground, she's not going to have a problem with being cooped up for a long time, which is great. Nimble. So she's great at doing the melee, which is strange because she hasn't got any melee ability, but welcome to Rimworld. She loves mining and constructing. She's great. Leslie. good at shooting, doesn't mind mining. See, the little flames next to somebody shows whether or not they're going to learn quick or if they enjoy it while they're doing it as well. So these tiny little flames are okay. It means they'll learn quickly. The skill up on these statistics here. She's an artist, that's important. You need to have nice things. Considering she's an ascetic and she does art, well, more story. Why does she do it? Alright, look, I'm just going to go with that. So we've got the child star, who became a taster in her adulthood. We've got the shop kid. Oh, her mother was often ill, so Simona was often ill. Became an evangelist. She had a religious awakening. Simona, she was a medieval slave. Became a cave world illuminator. Huh. Well, what a strange bunch. We'll start the game. Now once you actually get going, the important things in Rimworld are to find shelter and a source of food straight away. So we have sirens, there's landing and crashing. Okay. Let us begin. Now I won't change the speed. You see everything's got a little cross. So that means they won't interact with them unless you tell them to. So I'm going to force them to interact with them. I'm going to give everyone a weapon to start off with. Simona, even though she's got good shooting, I think we'll make her the melee kid because she's got that knee spike. We'll allow all these things. There's the food, packaged survival meal. You don't need a fridge for that, which is good to start. Silver, that's money, but also can be used for crafting. This is steel, just basically used for everything. Wood. Wood again, a pretty universal crafting component. Now straight away I can see that we've got a great mountain here on the left with practically a already begun entry point. We should just use this straight away, so we'll use some of that steel. What else is down here? Oh, that there is waiting for us to explore. We'll get to that later. That could be something bad, which we probably wouldn't want. Double clicking selects everything you can see. I've got a mod that allows you to select extra things, but no need to worry about that. So everybody, first things first, go to the Architect Structure tab, select wall. We'll build a steel wall. Now, there's some wall that's already here, so it's very easy for us to just fill in the gaps. And we'll do that. We'll build a steel door. And then they should fill that up. Oh. It disallowed everything by clicking. Alright, let's allow all that. Everyone should start. Oh, we got a dog, Gus. A Yorkshire Terrier. Oh, that's nice. He's going to need feeding, but we can also train him too, so let's go to animals. Somebody train Gus so he can attack. Okay. Wandering. How about somebody starts building? While they're walking over and having a chat. Leslie chatted about practicing with rockets with Simona. Well, it's a very interesting dynamic. Guilty pleasures, recreation. Seeing a story starting here. Seeing how there are no male Rimworlders so far, Leslie won't be getting too ticked off, but she's going to have to get over that. Eventually somebody will join and it might just upset the apple cart a bit too much for her. There's this little greyed out area here. There might be, yeah, there's definitely something in there. So what we'll do is we will mine this open, and it'll give us more space. We might make a storage room, some kind of barracks. It's usually helpful to have separate sleeping quarters from storage and work areas. We'll claim that slate wall, but we'll deconstruct it. Same here. This is our home now. Okay, let's build a bed. Well, several beds actually. Furniture, that's what I want. A wooden bed. Okay, how about we build them up against this wall? Okay. So we've got some of that wood ready and handy. Let's have a quick look around. Oh, there's some more food here. Now I want to haul that somewhere eventually. I'm just going to cheat, use this select all things on the map and haul them. Hauling them will mean we need somewhere to put them. See, it's got the little arrows. So I will create a stockpile. We'll make this our stockpile. Stockpiles can be configured with the storage tab here. You can set a priority for the stockpiles, so two stockpiles could have the same storage options, but then one could be the preferred or important or more critical one, and that'll get used first before the less important, the preferred or the normal or the low priority stockpiles. Sort of helps when you're wanting people to fill up the first stockpile and then use the second one as overflow. There's a lot of things that you can do with that. So here they are, they got hungry. Let's have a look at that need. See the food down here. Boom, 100% after they've completed eating their food, if their food's good enough, which is great. See the needs tab shows you what's affecting them emotionally, physically. So got a good buff from having low expectations and optimism for having been here. So Leslie is Gus's master. That's great. So she's a bonded animal with Leslie. Let's have a look at that. There we go. Master, Leslie, bond. Now that's great. Well, Gus is alive. If Gus dies, she's gonna be sad for a while. So that's how things work in Rimworld. 8 without table. We're gonna see this a lot until we build a table and then everybody eats there. That's how that'll work. So how about we build a table? I'll build a small table. We don't need a large one, just a tiny table for the moment. There we go. 1x2 table, and we'll build some stools to sit on. Wooden stools for the moment. Only 3 of them. Build 3 stools. We're gonna run out of wood. Right. Oh, there we go. Simona's running around picking up those extra foods. Let's have a look around. What else have we got? We got some animals. Animals you can hunt. Oh, there's more steel up here. Well, we'll allow it. I won't tell anyone to haul it yet. These on the cactus, that's a beehive. They won't be there in a normal vanilla game, but they are in mine because of a mod that I've added. Again, this here is the anima tree. It's used for primitives when they meditate and use their psychic powers that way. Do not cut it down. Everyone will get really upset for a long time because of its screams. Anyone enjoy that if that happens? Oh, I thought I had to have a sneeze there. Whew. Excuse me. Alright, so what else? We've got plants. You can see plants on the map. There's some more steel. We'll allow that steel. Cactus. So you get a description of the plant, how much it's grown, how much it is growing. And you can always click on these information tabs to find out more information. So how long it'll take to grow, what sort of a thing it is, fertility, sensitivity to light, growing temperatures, Obviously your biome will affect what type of plants you're going to get. Flammability, yeah, that's a thing. Cover effectiveness. You can stand behind a tree and you will be harder to shoot or get shot at. Sorry. So anyway, we can chop down cactus to get sort of a wood. There's also other trees. You'll see that they'll have different statistics. But it's all much of a muchness. That's how you're going to get wood. You can chop them down. Here we've got agave, which is ready to harvest. That's going to be a food source we're going to need to utilize briefly. Also, berries. It's going to be important too. Just for the moment, we're still letting everybody just do what comes naturally. We're not targeting anybody and telling them they have to do one thing or another. But if we look at our work tab, you can see that we've only got Simona on construction because she has a passion for it. The little flames appear down underneath the tick. If there's a tick, they will participate in that activity. If there is no tick, they will not participate in that activity. And this is how you can direct certain pawns to not waste their time doing something that they're bad at and spend their time doing the thing you want them to do. Right now, I think I want everyone to do a bit of everything. And the easiest way to do that is if I click Manual Priorities. Manual Priorities gets rid of the tick system, where people won't do a thing at all, and it replaces it with numbers. And you can change the manual priorities, so they can still put a specialty first, but then they will do other things after that. So I like everybody to always fight fire. Personally, I think that things burning is a bad idea in the game usually, and it'd be good to put that out. If they're wounded, I'd like them to be a patient. I'd like them to go to bed and wait to get healed by somebody. I'll make everybody a doctor, and at this stage, I mean, I don't care if they're good or not, everybody's going to just try and put sticks and mud in any wound they find until they get better and learn to use the medicine that's outside here, deteriorating in the sun. Bed rest. I want people to go to bed. Now, I've found that sometimes it's important that the main thing they're doing is finished first, so I put bed rest as a second level priority. So they'll finish whatever they're doing, like, you know, if they're doctoring, keep working on somebody until they're patched up, then go to bed. Otherwise, they go to bed when they're, you know, bleeding out, and they wake up and their flatmate's dead next to them. It's just horrible. Then there's crying. Yeah, so bed rest 2 is a good one. Whole plus, pretty sure this is a patch I've put in, but I don't know if it's been incorporated into vanilla, but if you really want people to go and stop doing everything they're doing and pick up that important thing, that's why you tell it whole urgently and whole plus manages the whole urgently command. Basic, that's releasing prisoners, flicking switches and stuff, so I'll make that a high priority. If I want something done like that, just get it done. Simona here, you can see she's working on the slate wall. The walls were less than perfect, so seeing as how she set the construction, she will just repair those, which is useful. We want to get all this other stuff in at some point, but we're running out of space. I will expand this storage zone. I can click the storage zone and click on expand zone and just make it a little bit bigger. We'll have to move where we store things eventually. We don't want people sleeping and eating and storing and working everything in the same room, but it is what it is for the moment. Let's see, Simona will get tired of this. She's going to need some rest. What is the time? The time's over here. It's 23 hours. The 1st of April, May. Okay. Have a look at our schedule. We've currently got a schedule set for people to go to sleep and wake up at certain times. It keeps people in sync, stops them from being out of coordination with everyone else. So after Simona finishes that, Oh yeah, she's hungry as well. She'll eat some food and then she'll go to bed because we've got sleep set for 2200 until 500. Now, Leslie, she had under bio, quick sleeper. She's going to rest quicker than the others. So what we might do is see when she's finished resting, when her rest statistic rises. And what we'll do is we'll let her go to work after that. Hunter lacks ranged weapons, so we get these little messages pop up here on the right hand side. That's because we've got somebody who's equipped with a melee weapon or no weapon at all, and that would be Simona, I think. She's got the plasteel knife. Now, she doesn't need to be equipped with a knife, but she'd probably be better off with a gun. She's got shooting with a plus next to it. She likes shooting. Elsie. She's the psychopath cook. You know what, actually, I've changed my mind. I'll swap. Even though Simona's got that knee spike, that just means if she does get into close combat after she's shooting at things that got too close, she'll just use that knee spike. So yeah, we'll change that over. I don't feel like waking them up to do that. Let's have a look here. Wow, Leslie's really slept really well. Yep, okay. So I'm going to say by 2 o'clock Leslie doesn't need to be asleep, so we'll click anything, just... There we go. Oh, she got up anyway. Good stuff. She won't be forced to sleep again. Oh, she's going to hold some of that medicine. That's good. See, I haven't assigned a priority. I haven't done anything like that, but it is out there. She will just naturally want to put our things in an appropriate stockpile. Let's go back to that work schedule again. Now, Simona's good at mining and constructing and hunting and a whole bunch of other stuff. Elsie is our cook. Look, we'll make Elsie our #1 priority cook. She's also a warden. Warden is used for prisoners, basically, handling and feeding and recruiting prisoners. So we'll make her a warden as well. If we ever take anyone captive, that'll come into its own. She's got no care factor about anything else, so I'll just give her a 4 all across the way until we decide what else she needs to maybe think about doing. Leslie, the evangelist, well, she's mainly got art here. Look, I'm going to give her a mining positive and a hunting at 2. She may as well have warden at 1 as well. We'll set her at 4 for everything else. So she won't ignore those other tasks if they're needing to be done. But she's going to mine first, hunt second, and then whatever else comes along. But art is quite important to her too. I might make art a #2 priority. There we go, see Leslie's already mining. Simona, I'll put her a 4 for warden. She doesn't need to be a good cook. And she loves mining. I'm going to make her a #1 miner as well. #2 hunter? Construction, definitely important. If there's construction to be done, I want somebody constructing. Now, smith, tailoring and craft, this is all important stuff. That can be a level 2 priority for her. Later on you get production benches of various types where you can build equipment, build tools, and the real meat and potatoes of the game starts up there. Got this little area here at the bottom of this wall that Elsie's working on that we want to maybe find out where that opens up to. It could be a big void, you never know. We'll find out. This little thing Leslie's working on here, it's turned out to be not much. What else do we need to concentrate on here? This, is it indoor? No, it's unroofed. We look over there, it says unroofed on the right hand side. So where you point your mouse, this little tooltip outdoors changes to unroofed because we've got a room that's got no roof. It'll change to indoors if we build the roof. Now down the bottom right you see there's a whole bunch of tools and doodads. One of them here, toggle the visibility of roofs. That's really handy when you're starting out to find out where you don't have a roof. So you might have noticed when we did build the walls, they went and roofed this whole area in. Well, now there's this small little 2x1 section that's got no roof. I'll just leave them to figure that out for themselves at the moment. But the difference between indoors and outdoors is temperature. You'll see there's a temperature next to things. Now we're currently in April, May. It says permanent summer. Well, when summer starts, it's going to get real hot. If there's a heat wave, people can die. So they need somewhere cool to live. What I might do is see about working on our power now. What kind of power generation can we use? Because that's going to give us light, cooling, a whole bunch of other good things. Alright. So that's all indoors now. We're going to need to create a method of making food, because we can't just live off the berries that we find. We need to actually produce something from them. So I've got a production. We want a stove. Stoves are useful, but I'd like an electric stove. So power. To build a wind turbine, that's handy. It's quick power. Takes a bit of steel, it's components. It needs to be somewhere where there's no trees in the way. We've got a lot of desert, so there's never going to be a tree pop up in there. So what I might do, boom, is build a wind turbine. Somebody will get to that. Now we need the power to come to the base, so you build power conduits, lay the wiring down. Now I'll just go nothing fancy, build a line of power. That'll take more steel as well. So all that steel that was lying around, we're going to need that eventually. So what I'll do is use my tool, haul all the steel, get everyone hauling that. So it looks like Leslie was already running over there. The idea of hauling the stuff instead of just leaving it lying around is that it increases time by running around to pick the stuff up. When they haul, they'll bring the maximum amount of whatever it is they can pick up and carry back. Whereas if they're building something, they'll build that with a specification. Say, this here says this power conduit needs 1 steel, so they'll go and get 1 steel, and they'll run back with less than a maximum amount of steel in their hands, and then they'll go, oh, I've got to build the other thing, and they'll run off and get another 1 or 2, and it just takes a lot of time. So it does make sense to spend the time when you can to grab and stockpile as much of the materials as you need at the start of the game especially. So we've got enough food to get by for the time being. We'll just check on that. An easy way to look, on the left hand side you've got menus that'll show you what you have in stock. So for instance it says we've got 30 medicine. You expand that, it'll show you what type. Top tooltip is the meals. We've got 44 meals. So I'd say with 3 people we've got a little over 10 days before we better have some sort of stovetop set up. Now I didn't have to build power to create electricity to put in an electric stove. I could have built a fueled stove. That would require us to chop down trees to get wood. Sometimes if you're in a wooded biome, that's actually a really great option. Here, where there's bugger all trees, like there's cactus and things, but there's not a lot, there'd be a lot of walking and chopping involved, and I'd rather just jump straight to power. Once we're settled with getting that power, that'd be okay to expand out. You know, we can start chopping as many things as you like. There's another power generation method here, wood-fired generator. Again, it's another type of power, but in a way easier to maintain. You just need to keep filling it with wood, and then it burns the wood to create power. So it's a very consistent form of power generation instead of the wind turbine, which can actually ebb and flow as the wind does blow, as you could expect. But we don't need to refuel a wind turbine. So for the time being, what we'll do, we'll build that wind turbine first anyway. Here we go, Elsie's working on that. Now she's botched it a few times. What's her construction? 1. An utter beginner. So yes, she's going to stuff up a few times, but as they grow and learn, they get better. But you don't learn without trying. So if you're wondering why somebody's not got any skill at something, well, if they've not been using it, then it's never going to get better. So if you have a look at Elsie's stats here, as she constructs, she's going to get a little bit better. Progress, she's got 69 of 2000, nice. Once she actually builds a piece of conduit, see it goes up, there we go, 79, 83, 86, let's not watch that. But people with a passion for something learn quicker, much quicker. So that's why it makes sense to at least concentrate people on their passions. Because they also get some fun from their passions. Let's have a look at some needs. Yeah, disturbed sleep, soaking wet. Oh, because she walked through the river. Okay, we'll build a bridge to fix that. Sweaty because it's hot. Things are ugly. Okay, yeah. Who's idle? Elsie. Elsie, so you're just not bothering? Okay. Ah, Gus. Alright, we'll build a bed for Gus. I'll just designate a sleeping spot as inside so he doesn't get murdered by animals at night. She's meditating. Elsie, why aren't you... yes, you've really got no specialty besides cooking and handling prisoners. What I might do is I will get her to do some of the growing. We'll designate some growing zones. It is important. Now a good growing zone would be where the soil is fertile. At the bottom left you'll see there's a soil descriptor, rich soil. Ah, there we go, that's the stuff we want. So this rich soil here, we'll make it a growing zone. We'll build inside it. And let's build some rice. Oh, build, cook, grow some rice. So Leslie, with her newfound love for cutting things and growing, she's going to plant rice. I'll also select the agave that's nearby. We'll harvest that if it's possible. And the berries. Yeah, we don't want to walk it too far to do that, but it's just a little bit of food to back up what we've got. So she'll get building there. Probably have to chop some wood. I'll select things visible. Chop the cactus. This is an advanced tip. Sometimes it's really helpful to make sure that you clear out the space in front of your base so that when somebody comes to attack you, they don't have something to hide behind. Because they'll get cover from it. Alright, so Elsie's got a few jobs she'll take part in there, which is good. We're doing alright. What else can we look at? Yeah, I was going to change... That wasn't I. So I'm going to drop the plasteel knife. And Elsie's going to drop the bolt action knife. We're going to swap. There we go. And Elsie, I'm going to take her off hunting. There we go, we got rid of that hunter tooltip. So Simona and Leslie will do our hunting. I'll make hunting a #1 priority because when you want things hunted, you don't want people wasting that time. You want them to go out and hunt. Now, here's another tip. See how we've got this wall? It's only 1 layer thick. Now the game does have insulation from walls, so if you want and have the materials, you can build a 2-layer wall which will insulate the temperature a lot better. Now at this stage, that's something to consider. Being inside this mountain would be better. I'm going to think about that. We haven't built that wind turbine yet. We've got 30 components, so who is our constructor? That's Simona. Well, we haven't got any mining to do. We've not planned any hunting. Maybe she'll be getting around to that first thing. Oh, it's the hauling I designated, isn't it? Alright, so easy way to deal with that. Simona, take her off of hauling plus. There we go. That's how you use the work tool. I'll go to assign here. This is where you can set what people wear if you're concerned or worried about that. At the start I'm not too worried. You can restrict what people eat if you don't want them eating fancy food. I've not got any worry about that at the moment, but what I do want is if anybody gets attacked, I don't want them to just run away, I want them to fight for their life. You can set the type of medicine everyone has. At the moment I've got no problem with everyone using the medicine that we have available. Later on you grow some herbal medicine, which is going to be your first real sort of meat and potatoes medicine. You grow that in a growing zone. It can also be found sometimes wild. I don't think we've got any heal root, just having a quick look around. No heal root. But sometimes it's out there and that's lucky if you get, because then you don't have to go planting it. It'll just keep sprouting and then you just have to go harvest it, but that means you're going to go walking to try and get your heal root. Eventually we should create some designated area to grow some heal root as well. But would need somebody with good planting skills, so it'll take a while before we can do that. I think if we have a look at the growing zone, minimum skill of 8 is required to plant heal root, so there's no point trying to grow it until you've got somebody that's got at least 8 in growing and plants. How's everyone's sleep going? Leslie's finished, that's great. Everyone else is sleeping pretty well. Yeah, okay, look, I'm gonna change the schedule to anything from 4 o'clock, so if they wake up they won't just sit in bed. How's Leslie doing? Luxuriantly comfortable. Well, that's really good. We've obviously got a nice spacious interior. This room feels great. It's dark. We can fix that with some lights. I will create a standing lamp there, and that should provide some light. But it's not going to work till we build that. Okay, Simona needs some recreation, so that's why she's currently watching the sunrise. I'm going to let her do that, but after she finishes that, I'm going to press Shift and going to right click on the turbine and prioritize working on that turbine. That puts in a order of planned work, so you can hold Shift, right click on things and start telling your Rimworlders what it is you want them to do. So if you don't want it to sit back and be relaxed and you want to be a tyrannical overlord and you want to smack them around and tell them what to do, yeah, that's what you can do. Now Leslie's doing some cleaning. That's nice. It means that she's got nothing else that she feels like she wants to do. Let's have a look at that work schedule. So there's no hunting to do, there's no mining to do, there's no art she can do. Cleaning is a 3 priority, so she's doing that. And constructing is a 4 priority for her, so she's not trying to do any of that. Now this is good. If it gets too dirty, that can upset everyone. Now if you want to check what the beauty of a place is like, down here in these little tools in the bottom right, beauty display, it'll show you the beauty of an area, -1, pretty standard stuff. If you have a look inside, see it's like -5 for where the medical kits are, -12 for the blocks of wood. It can be quite ugly inside this room, but if it's clean, it's going to help out a lot. Now you can put things in different rooms, then they don't have to look at it all the time, they won't get sad. That's a way of managing beauty. Building a floor helps. You see there's no beauty damage where there's that tiled floor that was already there, so that's a great thing. I'm going to get on to beautifying this room as soon as we can. Once we build that lamp, instead of being -9, plus, oh no, -1. So it's still not great, but it's better than it was. Obviously the beds can provide beauty. This is a beautiful bed. It's got 2 on the tail of it, but yeah, I mean, it's looking like we're doing alright. There's a different display which gives stats, so we'll look at the stats. It's a barracks, it's an awful barracks, poor, but it is spacious, which is positive for it. It is ugly, slightly dirty. So if you want to know why somebody goes into a room and cries and comes out, that's why. Okay, we've got that wind turbine powered up. Okay, see the little bar in the middle, that's showing how much power it's making of its capacity. This is good, it's making power. Now we'll build an electric stove. Now the electric stove, I think I'll show what I was going to say before I just did it. See how you go to build, and it shows you where you can't build, but then it'll show you where you can build. You can swing things around with Q and E, using those keys to spin things so that you can position it where you want. But then you see how it's got an outline of a chair. That's where people will actually use that production tool. Now, you've got to keep that clear. If you move that chair in the way of something, then the tool won't build either. But what that also indicates is you should build a chair there. So when somebody's working there, they'll sit down and they will feel better. They will feel comfortable. They won't feel bad about life. Now I could just build a wooden stool or a fancy chair. I could build a silver stool, which would be very fancy, or a slate stool. But I won't do any of that. What I will do, let's have a look at the materials that we have. I've only got 8 slate blocks, so I've got not enough to use there. got a lot of steel, so I may just make a dining chair out of steel, and again I can use Q and E to rotate it so that it'll sit correctly. Place it there at the electric stove. Now the stove won't just be made automatically to, let me start again, won't make food. People have to use it to make food, but we've also created bills. So down the bottom left there where it says electric stove, after I've selected it, click on bills. You can add a bill to cook meals. Now I'm going to just say cook simple meal. Now this will come up with a tip which will just be like cook one meal. So they'll just make one and it won't matter after that. You can set how many times they cook with plus or minus, and that'll be something that just counts down. Now if you click on do X times, you can then choose to do until you have X, which is very useful. I find that to be the best way to do it. Or you could click do forever if you're mad and you just want them to constantly make nothing but that all the time forever. That can come in useful with other types of productions. But anyway, I'm going to select do until you have X and we'll set it to 10. That way there'll at least be 10 meals. We don't have any refrigeration yet, so we'll just stick to cooking 10 meals. That should be enough for the time being. They won't go bad. Now, packaged survival meals, if you have a look at them, they don't go off. Down the bottom left, there's no decay time. They're inside, so that 50 out of 50 will remain. They won't just, bleach in the sun. If we have a look at our medicine, medicine went to 57 out of 60 on the little tooltip there in the bottom left. That's just because it was outside deteriorating. Things that are outside, if they're sturdy, they'll last. If they're not, they will slowly deteriorate and disappear. Well, everyone's getting into the growing, which is good, something that needs to be done. Now, there's nothing to cook yet because we haven't harvested anything, so the growing will still continue. If we want to cook, we could hunt something. But if we do hunt something, unlike growing food or harvesting agave and berries, we'll actually end up having to take that corpse from the animal that we kill, process that, butcher it, to actually turn it into a meal. We'd need somewhere to butcher, so what I'm going to do is build a very special steel walled area to do the butchering. Or will I? No, I won't do that. I'll just dig an area. There we go. Let's mine down here. I'll make a little room. Leslie loves to dig, so she'll work on that. I'll make that the butchery. The butchers. The problem with using a butcher's table, which is found under here under production, butcher's table, is that if you cook in the same room that you butcher the meat in, you can get food poisoning really easy, so it's best to keep those separated. Okay. Elsie, consuming simple meal. Good stuff. So she's already made a simple meal. That's fantastic. We have a visitor. So the right hand side here it says visitor. We can click on that. He has items to trade, so we'll jump to that location. Humps. Ralph Humps Brock. And I guess we can trade with him. See the little question mark on him. That means that he's ready to talk. We can select one of our people here and we can talk. Ooh. Top left, we have struck compact machinery. useful. That's one of the ways of getting the components that we need. That's fantastic this early on. When Humps makes it to our camp, we will trade with him. If we trade with him all the way out there in the wilderness, he'll drop whatever it is we decide to buy or sell, or buy from him all the way out there. And then we've got to carry it back. We may as well let him do all the walking and trade with him when he's out the front of our little outpost. Now we're getting some good power out of this wind turbine, but you'll see down on the right hand side we've got needs batteries. We have to research batteries. We've got a research tab here. I'll open it up. I've got a few mods so it's a bit different, but the main tab here, you'll see that there are some prerequisites for certain things. We already know electricity because we're an advanced race of people that fell from the sky, and we can select battery as the next thing to research. Now, I'm going to select it, but we can't research it till we build a research bench. So, I'll start that research and build a research bench. So if anybody gets bored, I think our work schedule, as everybody has research, I'll set it to 3 for everyone, but it'd be an idea to do some researching. So, production, I think, is the simple research bench. I'll build it out of wood. And where can we put it? We might need a space to put it. You know what? It's a bit weird, but I might end up putting it in the same place that we do the butchering. We'll put the butcher's table in first. Butcher's table. Don't have the wood. Oh well. We'll make one out of steel. Easy solutions. I'll build a chair for him now. Once I build that, I'll build a door and a wall. That'll make a separate room. And then all of the butchery can be done there. We've got all these bits of rubble that have popped up here. We're going to have to put them into a stockpile. I'll just create a stockpile, create a dumping stockpile. Now, I'll do it here. I'll do it like this for a reason. I'll explain that, because if we get attacked, and when there's all these rocks here at the front, it's a very quick, rough and ready barricade that we can hide behind. So I'll build these as our stockpile. If we have a look at storage, it's set to chunks of things and corpses, but I don't want corpses there. I'll turn off corpses. Corpses make people sad. Oh, Humps is turned up. Let's have a look. I think it was Simone. No, hold on. Where's the socialite? Oh, Leslie's better. I'll get Leslie to wake up and go talk to Humps. We'll see what he's got to trade. Maybe he's got something, maybe he doesn't. Okay, the trade window shows you what he's got. On the right hand side is what Humps has. The middle, that's showing what we've got. And obviously what we can trade. Everything's got a value. He's got herbal medicine. That's nice, not essential. He's got a hatchet. We don't need that. We've got pants we could sell him. I think the only thing that he's got that really interests me here is the pemmican, because pemmican is a long-lasting food. People don't necessarily like eating it, but I mean, it's extra food and it'll store for a long time. So even if the dog eats it, it's just extra food that gives us a little bit of a bounce here at the middle of this warm-up of the start of this game. So yeah, look, let's just buy his food. I'll buy those medicine as well because we're going to use it. I'll keep the pants. I don't mind just buying those things off of him and not giving him anything in return, because we've got silver. You'll see the cost. Now, if you wanted more silver, obviously you can trade and get the silver that he's got out of him, but he's only got a limited amount of silver. But we're good. All right, so we bought that pemmican, got the herbal medicine. Select haul urgently. Oh, no storage space. Well, that's easy to fix. We can go here, select our stockpile, and expand it. Alright, well I think I might finish it there. But this is sort of just a nice basic overview of how it goes. If I come to it, I might continue on, and we'll see how these intrepid explorers or crash-landed survivors, however you want to look at it, get along. Till next time. Ciao for now.